special?
It's a very special dress because my future husband was a soldier in Salzburg, Austria. And I was placed in a camp there, waiting for transport to go to Palestine. And my husband, his name is Harold, asked where can he meet Jewish boys and girls. So somebody directed him to the camp that I was in. So he came to visit, and he liked to dance the hora. And then he approached me to dance, and I didn't want to dance with him. And then when somebody else asked him to dance again, I didn't want to dance with him. Finally, the third time, I came down from my second bunk, and I decided to dance with him. And I couldn't communicate with him because he knew Hebrew and he knew English, and I didn't know those languages.
And he knew French. Yeah.
And French. So my friend, my very best friend, Sidi, knew Hebrew, and she knew
English.
she knew English, and she knew Hungarian. So she sat with us, and she was my interpreter. And Harold's first visit said that he wants to come back and teach me Hebrew. He was on this unusual people that was raised in Chicago, and he loved Hebrew. So when the second time he came back, we sat together with my interpreter, and he was teaching me Hebrew. And every free time he had, he kept coming back. And after the first 3 months, I couldn't communicate with him, only with an interpreter. And then after I learned how to speak Hebrew very fast, because I told him I want to learn all the words that I know from the songs. So he wrote down the names from the songs, and I learned how to, the important word was how to say opposite. So I learned how to say that and communicate. I said the opposite of cold, the opposite of happy, the opposite, every word that I wanted to use, I would say the opposite, and he would give me the word. And after I was communicating like this him occasionally, after about 3 months, I was able to talk to him pretty freely. And then we knew each other for 5 months, just from occasional visits, going sledding and taking me to the museum. And then he came to tell me that he had good news to tell me and bad news. The good news was that he's being shipped back to Chicago to be discharged from the Army. The bad news is that he has to say goodbye to me unless I want to go with him. I said, I do not want to go with him. I want to go to Palestine. That was my goal. That's why I survived the Holocaust. So I said, okay, we'll arrange to meet in Palestine. I will come and see you there. And so he went back to Chicago, and he, before leaving, he gave me a Morgan David necklace, and he gave me this package. And the package was 3 yards of parachute fabric, and he admitted that he bought it with a package of cigarettes from another soldier. And I opened the package, and it was this fabric. And he said, this is for your wedding dress. And that's how I knew that I was engaged. So we said goodbye, and Harold went back to Chicago to be discharged, and I continued on my route. And my route was not that simple, because I kept going from crossing borders and going from place to place, and pretty soon we lost contact because I wrote to him and I didn't put my address down. And so he contacted the Jewish rabbinate, and then he decided he would go to Palestine and meet me, find somehow to meet me. And he got permission under the GI Bill to study in Palestine. So he got to Palestine, and then we had trouble meeting because he didn't know where I was, because the British arrested us and we were in camps and we weren't allowed, and we were shipped to Cyprus. So it's a long story, taking an hour and a half to tell you everything, but I just want to tell you the dress was very special because I saved the fabric under the lining of my coat, because we went on a ship that accommodated, it was made for 80 fishermen, and it was converted to hold 800 refugees. So we had 5 tiers of bunk beds, and we weren't allowed to carry anything. So I took the fabric and I pasted it under the lining of my coat, because we were allowed to wear a coat. Even though the temperature was 110 degrees, I was wearing my coat. And I got to Palestine, and then it's a long story how Harold and I established our contact again. And then after I was there for 5 months, we got married in an outside kibbutz, and outdoors where the town was invited. And this is the dress that a friend of mine and I made from the fabric that Harold gave.
And that's their wedding picture on the, in Binyamina.
My wedding, for my wedding day. It has a matching blue slip. And I brought it to the United States, and I have been introduced to Spielberg Foundation. And the museum here asked if I had anything from that period. I said, no, I don't have anything. Everything was destroyed, everything taken away. I lost 42 members of my immediate family, including my parents. And the only thing I have is this dress that I made by hand with the help of somebody. They said, well, show me the dress. So I took it was like in a box from Kmart that you buy cookies in.
Like a tin.
And
Like
but
a
I
cookie tin.
folded up and inside this box, and they said, this is the dress. And so they borrowed the dress. Could we please have it for the museum? So I lent it to them, and after they had it for a year, they asked me if I would donate it. So this is already about 8 years or longer. And I decided it's better than having it in my closet in a box, so I donated it. And this seems to be a big, important story when the children, I used to come a couple of times a month and talk to the students, and they were all very interested because it has a happy ending. And it shows the picture of on the ship when I was in Cyprus and being arrested. And altogether, I was 6 months in Auschwitz, and I was 6 months in a factory where I soldered wires. And I was in 10 different displaced persons camps. So you could see how long it could take that story.
How you were saved from
Usually when
Auschwitz?
lucky I survived. I lost my parents and my relatives, and my 2 sisters and brothers survived. And if you heard my story and how I learned English was the 7th language I had to learn. When I came to this country, I could not speak one single English word. And I lived with the in-laws. Harold and I lived with the in-laws, and they told me that my name was too hard to pronounce, Penina, that we're going to call you Penny. So they named me Penny, but officially I'm still Penina. And I sat with my sister-in-law for an hour learning English, and I was teaching her for an hour learning Hebrew. And my sister-in-law, Eileen, fell in love with the country, with Israel. She moved to Israel, and I'm here, and my sister-in-law lived there for all her life and have children. So that's I'm proud of the story. Yes, Leora?
Well, they need to see the rest of the exhibit too. So
I mean?
they need to see the rest of the exhibit also.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know. See, I like to open for questions. People could ask me what happened to your family, who survived, where they live, what did you do, and how. I learned English was the 7th language, and I also, my hobby was to belong to organizations. And I got my training by belonging to the neighborhood and the Hadassah and Ord. And when I first joined, I couldn't speak an English word. I said, what can I do if I can't understand English? They say you can always pour coffee and lick stamps. And that's what I learned how to speak English, by pouring coffee and licking stamps. I'll let you look at, there's one other dress that I want to see, which survived, the only one that survived the war. I won't look at my dress. There is
You mean a picture? A photo, you're
one
saying?
picture of my picture, and I
Okay, we'll look for it.
don't have any pictures of my childhood. I only had one picture when I was about 14 years old, and it shows me sitting in the park and reading with my sister, and that's the only thing we always did. It's right here in that museum.
All right, we'll look for it too.
It's on one of the walls, and that's my favorite picture.
All right.
So I came late. This
That's
is your
the
dress,
only
right?
That's her wedding
Only
dress.
picture of my childhood, showing me in the park reading, and I'm just about 14 or 15 years old, and you know that I'm reading this thick book, and I still remember it's Hungarian, and I still remember that it's the story of civilization by Jules Durand, and that's what we read when we were that young. We used to borrow, get it from the library. Where is the book? I won't see it.
You mean the photo? We'll look for it.
It's in the
Okay,
the
okay.
section of Europe where before the Holocaust, and